Help Action Needed, a D&D podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Help Action Needed, a D&D podcast. My name is Sean Hardy, and as always, I will be the GM for our show, and with me are our cast of people who exist, and they are...
Hello, my name is Kate Pizarchik-Johnson, and I play Nori.
I'm Dan Johnson, and I play Cass.
I'm Julie Perez, and I play Frog.
Nice. And last we left them, they had gone to a secret meeting of the nobles of the country, and they maybe learned that people are planning to do a bit of an evil at the royal wedding. What that evil is, they don't know. They've speculated it could mean death. Will it be true? We'll find out later. However, they have asked the princes to do a tiny little check-in with them in their tiny little extra-dimensional space because they're pretty sure that Frog is being scryed on 24/7 now, that Cassiopeia knows that she knows her plans. The party met with everyone, including the High Cleric James Whitmore, and are a little suspicious because not only did Archimedes join them, but also he seems to be integral to their plans. And we join the cast now as they all reconvene in their hotel room right before speaking with the princes. So, Cast, I turn it to you.
Okay, so everyone got their stuff. I will admit, you guys did a good job actually buying stuff. I'm not going to ask how much you spent. You guys did a good job. Also, why is there like a whole bag of stuff missing? You know what? Never mind. Anyway, thank you for getting the stuff. Now, that being said, before the princes hopefully call at some point, Sorry, Frog, you pretty much reached out to Dion already, right?
Yes. He knows
Okay,
that we need to speak with him.
And we did our due diligence to make sure we weren't being listened to.
I have been doing my detect magic, and unless I have any other inklings, we have been fine. Aside from like one little instance with Frog.
Okay.
Yeah, and you could have been ritually casting it to like make it keep lasting without spending your spells. And Frog, you also did something to maybe help with that. What did you do?
While we were at the market, I got an amulet so that she can no longer scry on us without permission.
On you?
Well,
without permission.
on me, yes.
Yes.
Well, that's great. At least we have one less person spying on Frog without permission. I'm assuming the other person is still there from time to time. Frog.
Anyway, is there anything else you all... Yeah, the other person can do whatever they want. Because they exist outside of space and time and also have a verbal agreement. Yeah, anything else you all would want to do before... in the time you'd have before you know the princes are free?
Yes, I'm going to take out my Tome of Shadows and just poof a pen into existence, and just going to ask both Frog and Nori to write their names in the book.
Ooh, I get to be in your journal now? Cool. And I'll go and I'll sign the book and put a little heart with on top of the I.
Yeah. Frog will, after seeing Nori make the little heart, will write Frog and then put a smiley face in the O.
I'll look at both of them, the smiley face and the heart, and just sort of chuckle, close the book, and be like, thank you both.
Would you be trying to contact Seth and Alto at this point, or are you letting them continue living their life?
No, I would go get them.
Yeah, we need them.
Yeah. They come back. They've just been out all day, and they come back after 15 minutes, kind of at the tail end of any of your all's discussions. So anything that you want to fill them in on, you'll need to manually fill them in on because they were not there for. But they do come back, and you're able to find them.
And I'll sure, as I'm about to go, try to just get them into the room, I'll look back at Frog and be like, Frog, just to make sure, you told Dion in a non-ominous way that we need to talk, right?
I told him exactly what was going on.
All right, I'll be back. I just go grab Seth Alto, bring them in the room real quick.
Yeah, sensing the tension in the room, Alto's like, I take it something important happened, and you're about to offload a lot of information onto us that probably should be done delicately, but you all have been lacking a delicate bone in your entire trio.
You are like the third person in the past week that has said something very similar, and sadly enough, you are 100% correct.
Yeah, do you think if 3 people are saying it, it's maybe a bit true?
Oh, I'm not doubting it's true. That's not at all inaccurate. But I will get them up to speed. Sort of looking at Nori before we start, just being like, "Is there anything around? Are we good?"
Is there anything
Nothing's
around?
pinged.
Okay.
Other than the stuff that you all brought in and the stuff that Archimedes has, there's nothing like additional in the room.
Okay. And then I'll sort of bring them up to speed. Not really leaving out details, but like getting them up to speed on the main points of, hey, shit's going down at the wedding. You guys, did they technically get an invite or no?
No, because you all brought them with on a whim. You have a feeling it wouldn't be hard. They were invited to the city with you all because they had supposed to be with you. I don't think they were penned an invitation. But it's not hard to get them one. Like, especially if you do have a thing here, you can get them added to the list. But I'm pretty sure that they weren't fully penned an invitation because they kind of showed up at the house and then the next day were teleported up here and then be told, like, hey. Anyway, sort of timeline.
Okay, so I'll make sure to bring that up in the conversations. That's this call, but just sort of get them up to speed, let them know what's going on. Pretty much ask them, like, are they willing to still help with this? Because, like, this is truly out of... If they say no, it's completely understandable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of, we have no plans, and you've kind of pulled us all into all of the schemes already. But really the only thing is that it seems like this might be some way to Seth, and so if nothing else, I'll do it for him, and he'll do it for me, and if it goes well, we'll go to the Boreal Lands together, and if it doesn't go well, I'll go somewhere.
That is a great way to look at it. With that, I'll just sort of sit down and look at... So, I guess actually one other question. Are they, like, for the intention of my book, Sean, because you know what it is, do they both need to sign, or does one need to sign?
They both can put their names down, but one would be enough.
Okay. I'll have Alto sign then. Whichever one is the corporeal one, I'm pretty sure it's Alto, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll have him sign the book as well.
Okay, cool. He adds his name in. And then, yeah, the time passes and goes to when it needs to. And then a doorway appears in front of you. A doorway that you all are familiar with because you've seen it once more, but a doorway nonetheless. Into a mind palace.
Okay, we shall enter.
That's good. Let's
Here
go.
we go.
Who is the first one to go in?
Frog.
Cool. Then yeah, Frog, as you enter in, you see them both there. It's very much the same room as it was last time. It all seems familiar. You have enough space for all of you, but you also know that it requires like Julian's concentration to do this. So like at any point, if something big happens in the main world, he will need to drop it. Last time it was like night and everyone was anywhere. Now they're kind of like being carted back home. So the time you seem to have the time, but you don't know if it would necessarily be as stable as last time.
Okay. I guess we enter, and I would I'm give them a hug, kind of like, like a hello, a warm welcome, and be like, I'm sorry for the message I sent earlier. I know it was a lot, but I just wanted you to have all the information.
Yes, fine. It's fine. It honestly gave me something to look forward to. Hope you're well. Again, starting with introductions and hellos. Hi. Great to see you all. Anyway, and then Julian, how about Dee says we're gonna get murdered.
I mean, no, but we have some very interesting things to talk about, I suppose. Frog, why don't you tell more details about it?
Okay, so essentially, Archimedes got himself wrapped up in this thing, and we ended up going to a meeting that had the 9 nobles all together discussing your wedding and the ceremony, and how essentially they're trying to take over, assumingly by killing you or bad things happening. And Cassiopeia definitely has her eyes on us, and we have been threatened if we are trying to ruin their plans. So, all around, not a great time.
Yep. So that's a lot, first off.
Yes.
Second, not to doubt you, again, seeing things seem to get worse with Cassiopeia when you specifically are involved. Did you do anything that would make her upset to the point she would need to threaten you, or did you do anything that would involve her ire?
I'll chime in at this point and be like, no. Oddly enough, we all very much behaved ourselves. And I think the best way to put it is we were singled out from the moment we stepped in that room and they saw us. So they know who we are.
Yes, and how did you get access to that room?
Well, I'll look to Frog and be like, why don't you explain that part?
So the nobles, again, are trying to take over leadership, and Archimedes claimed himself the Frog King of the frogs, and told them their story about the Shadow Cats and how he is working to make sure the frogs have good lives and the Shadow Cats get taken care of. And then he became like a whole thing and was invited to that meeting.
Yeah, we had heard about his public appearances, but assumed it was nothing and or you all were doing a stunt. Never would have imagined it would have amounted to a conspiracy, but okay. Do you have a timeline? Do you know what we need to do? I'm not doubting you, but if we are to have any sort of intervention on a higher up level, we can't just tell the police of the city, arrest the head cleric because this one friend of mine has a bad vibe about him. And we also can't just arrest a noblewoman because you don't like her.
Did anyone jot down their scary catchphrase?
Yes. And the
Would you
scary
like to share that?
The scary catchphrase is what Sean told us.
Which is...
Something about the red blood or red moon blood thing.
Yeah. So I think that's what Nori would have told them then. Something about the red moon or the red blood or something about that.
The great red blood unites us to change the world.
Cass chimes up as Nori struggles once more.
I'll pat Cass on the back of his leg and say, "Thanks, buddy."
For taking notes in your notebook all the time, you are not great at actually taking notes that are important to what we are doing sometimes, Nori.
You know, the life-wise, I'm very good at taking notes for things that are important to me. I was a little bit nervous with Pia, Nia, in the meeting, and so I did not want to draw more attention to myself than already was. Thank you very much.
Well, anyway, does knowing this catchphrase provide evidence in any way?
It's the phrase that they used to start the meeting that James Whitmore kind of required everyone to say before starting. But we are kind of understanding from our time there that there were letters, or they primarily corresponded through letters. They all seemed to know what was going on. And we could probably recall the names of the people who were there aside from James Whitmore and Cassiopeia.
It would be great to know who they are. I'm just seeing if you have any concrete evidence we can use to help take things out of motion that's not your 3 words against the heads of the city and country. Do you have anything concrete?
That is a good question. And I will look at Frog and Cass and say, do you guys have anything else that would be beneficial in this situation?
We do not have any concrete evidence.
This is more, and I know this is not as helpful as it could be, but it's more of a we needed you to know type situation. Because again,
which is very helpful.
But we already gave them the names of everyone we knew was there, right?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to rattle off the names to them. And so when we got there, we were let in by Clarence. June was there, Barto, Kara, Cam, as well as obviously James Whitmore and Cassiopeia. I believe that was everyone, but
June's sister.
Oh, and Marie the sister. Yes, correct. Again, so here's the thing, and I'm not trying to concern you. No offense. You already knew your wedding was going to be a bit chaotic, but they never said specifically that there was intention to harm you. But there was talks of some type of thing happening. And I know, again, very vague, but do you have any idea what they could be referring to?
Well, yeah, we all assumed that it was going to be some sort of a farce or a sham to just make it a political affair, which is why we had you do it. Beyond that, I'd imagine some sort of showing of divine favor or strength, if it's the High Cleric's goal to... What was the wording you said? Bring forward?
Take back what's theirs, essentially. They wanted to bring the power back to themselves.
Then in that case, I would imagine either trying to, if it's the nobles trying to take back power, dissolve the country and its tenants, so that the nobles can go back to being leaders of areas in a more independent way, but I'm not sure anyone would actually buy that as the majority of the people enjoy the system that we live under now. And I've made a great show over my entire life of building communications and connections with the people, so I don't see them turning against me very quickly. If the church is wanting ways to go back to how it was, then that would mean disrupting the peace and possibly trying to bring the divine back into the world, as they have been missing for the past many years. Neither of those I see how are entirely dependent on us, other than maybe it being a social spectacle to get it out there or something.
Do you want us to try to gather intel, knowing that we will do our best with this and not fuck things up because we understand the severity of this situation? Or would you prefer we wait till the ceremony and be, like, ready for whatever is coming? What do you think is our best course of action?
That's a difficult question, as you're essentially asking us to wait and go unprepared into something that we are aware of but not sure what will happen, or ask our friends to risk their lives infiltrating higher members of the society who are clearly strong enough to organize something like this. I would rather we know as much as possible before it goes down, but also, I don't want to force you all into that. And I don't want to make the choice for you all that you are going to put your lives on the line in the hope of saving ours. We are, of course, always at your side and will be prepared for anything the day of the ceremony. But before then, it would be wildly out of place for us to change our plans, especially tomorrow being all rehearsals and practices. We need to be there. But it also means a lot of the people that you're talking about will probably be there. I know the High Cleric needs to be there to run the rehearsal and the practice and all of that. Could give you a chance to sneak around if we know that he has to be there, but the others that you mentioned have no need to be there tomorrow, so I don't know what they'll be up to. So I suppose if you want, you can try and gather intel, but if it turns south, run and wait until we can all confront it together head on, whatever it is, but again, it's your choice.
I wonder if us just kind of like preparing and waiting ourselves would be better, since I think at this case it just would be better for us to all be in larger numbers. And depending on the type of public display, we might be able to have a little bit more assistance if there's more people around us than it just being like the three of us, or even just, the three of us and Seth and Alto.
Yeah, whatever you all think is needed. Again, I don't want to pressure you into either way. If you stay around with us, you won't gain much, but also no one will really be coming for you. So if Nora, you want to do strength in numbers, you're welcome to spend all day with us tomorrow and just hang out in the room, I suppose. When we can make it work. Also, I suppose that we can move your standing in the invitation order up, so if something were to break out, you can be closer to like the main area than you were originally scheduled. No offense, you're just not really important enough to be in the main cathedral. But we can change that so that you'll be with us.
Can we also get Seth and Alto an invite so they can be there?
Oh, yes. If we're moving you, we can easily add them to the list and move you all around. A few of the minor family members might be upset that they're pushed out, but I don't know them anyway. I was told I had to invite them. I didn't even make the invite list, honestly. Anyway, that doesn't matter. So, what do you want to do then? Are you planning to infiltrate, or are you planning to stay with us?
Unfortunately, it's not that simple, I don't think. And again, we're here because of you guys, so You're not being a burden to us. Like, you invited us. We want to make sure that you guys are safe and you have a good, safe day, but at the same time, we understand that things are going to most likely go wrong. So don't worry about us. Again, the day is about you guys. But that being said, and I don't know if we can just come and sit with you guys specifically, because let's just say Cassiopeia came and talked with us, with James Whitmore, more of a one-on-one session towards the end. So they're keeping a very close eye on us, I'm assuming. So that being said, I don't think us hanging out with you guys, as much as that would probably be the safest option, is a good idea. Because if we do, it could accelerate their plans, which could arguably make this worse, because then we have no idea what they're doing.
Okay. So, sounds like Frog and Cass would like to do some infiltration. Nori, is that something you're okay with?
When majority rules, majority rules. We have ways of keeping you updated and contacting you, and we'll see you on your wedding day.
Yes, and you can also come to the dinner tonight and tomorrow. You have invites to that. We can fill each other in then if we need. And then Alto will pop up for the first and be like, and we're not very good at finding things or stealthing, but we could, if you need some extra bodies, we can be some royal guards for the day or 2 days. My brother might bring attention, but we could try to hide in. And Frog seems to be able to get in Seph's head, so if we need, that might be a one-way path there. And Seph just goes back to you, Frog, yeah, you haven't talked to me in a while. Are we okay? Not at all the time, Seph, but hey. So if you want, when we come to dinner tonight, we can stay. Well, not stay with you, that would be strange, and I'm not asking to stay with you. But we can stay on as guards through the end of the weekend. Say, you needed to hire someone or something. Increase security based on information you were told. Or something. I don't mean to impose. No, I think that's a good idea. We can keep you all on, and then you all can contact us, and you all can contact the brothers here, and if nothing else, we know one of your main adversaries will be busy tomorrow. If nobody needs anything else, we are still on the road, so we should get back to paying attention. I know there's a lot Julian wishes he could be saying to you all right now, but he is spending most of his attention on keeping this room going. But we'll talk to you tonight, and then we can give you any sort of access information we can think about to help you get in wherever you want to go tomorrow, and we'll go from there. I guess that'll be the plan. Hooray. They say it's a good luck to have rain on your wedding day. I wonder what it means to have global assassination plots happening. And then they just step out of the room and you all are back in the hotel.
Cool.
Frog, what are you thinking?
Internal panic about all the possible situations and just mind racing. Thinking about where Cassiopeia is going to be tomorrow and how we can get into Whitmore's office or whatever.
I can go and attempt to do some recon at night and then maybe run back and see what I can give everyone tonight.
As far as what? What do you mean?
Sorry, of maybe some entrances, if they're how many guards there are, all that jazz.
Well, I feel like it might be drastically different tomorrow if he's not going to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and in theory it should take a while for them to get through rehearsals, so maybe one or two of us just go before, and then we can send a message to Self, Alto, and Cass and figure out stuff from there.
Yeah. Well, and Dion said that they can give us more information too about getting in places tonight during dinner.
Yeah. Okay.
So hopefully, with all that, we would be able to get good information.
Yeah, that should be good.
And the night passes, the dinner happens. At one point, it's a very slight thing because it'd be strange to do out in the open. Frog, when you are going to say like hi to Julian, you just feel like a hand pat on your back, and you feel something in your back pocket of your robe, and you know that he has slipped you some blueprints to a building. Just when you're in like the brief greeting line, the dinner is very fun. There's a lot of partying. There's a lot of like festive spirit going around. Save for like the 12 of you who know about this plot, everyone seems to be in great spirits. Everyone seems to be so excited for the future of the kingdom. Those who you saw at the house are all there. None of them seem to be suspicious about all of you. They just are giving you like smiles and like nodding glasses to you all, like tipping their glass towards you all and stuff, saying hello. And the night seems to pass without incident. What were you saying?
I was gonna ask if Archimedes was there.
Archimedes is not there.
Okay.
Archimedes is
Sounds good.
missing. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I
wake
guess
up.
when we
Yeah,
go
keep
back
going.
to the hotel, we can look at the blueprint and make some plans for the morning.
And is there anything you would all want to be doing at this dinner that you haven't done already?
The only thing I was going to ask was at night if I could try and commune with Titania to ask her some questions.
Sure, yeah. Are you trying to just do like a regular like prayer with her, or are you trying to like use something more to get like more direct communication?
No, just the commune spell so I can get her to answer some yes and no questions.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. When we go into James Whitmore's residence or where he's staying, will we be able to find direct information that could stop what they're trying to do on the wedding day?
You get back the answer yes.
Okay. Does for us to stop James Whitmore and Cassiopeia, do people need to die? Do they need to die? Sorry. I'll rephrase it like that.
No.
Okay. Will we need to obtain something physical to stop? No, that's a fucking dumb question. Let me see if I can be more specific with it.
Because it's probably going to be your last question too, because it's only within a minute. So
Yes, I do know
if
that.
you want this last question to be, this will be your last one.
Yeah, because it says 3. Is there a physical object that we need in order to stop Cassiopeia and James Whitmore?
No.
Okay. All right. I will thank Titania, rub my little silver pine cone, and let Cass and Frog know about what Cassiopeia, Titania, and I chatted about in our commune.
Nice. You do know it's commune, right?
Nope, it's gonna be commune.
Well, then, Cass and Frog, you were delivered this information from the Fey commune.
Great. Okay. Frog is going to try to go to sleep to prepare herself for the tomorrow.
Are you trying to contact your friend for any further information, or are you not tapping into that as much as possible?
You know, I guess she would probably have some information. Maybe. I don't know that she would, though. I guess it's worth an ask.
Okay. So what do you ask, Miss Katonic?
Do you know of any plans made by Cassiopeia or James Whitmore to regain their power?
Well, regain is a fascinating question, as neither of them necessarily has anything that they can claim as their own. As always, Cassiopeia is shielded, but the current High Cleric does seem to have ambitions to gain power, yes.
Okay. Can you tell what he's willing to do to regain that power, or to gain that power?
Well, what one is willing to do changes on a whim quite frequently. One day you were not willing to commune with me at all, and then the next you were asking me to eviscerate a man's mind so that he would not remember your crimes. It is nearly impossible to imagine what humans intend to do or will do from any moment to the next.
Okay. Do you know of any of his planning specifically?
As in, what his plan is, or?
Yes.
I know the plan is to use the wedding to try and use the union to summon not his anything, but to summon the old Archfey back into the world.
Okay.
I cannot tell you how, unless I could try. If you wanted to allow me to become your eyes for a moment when you go out tomorrow, I could observe the room. I'll let you think on that.
Do it!
I will sleep on that and let you know in the morning.
I'm always here for you. Don't forget.
Thank
You
you.
will always be with me.
Yes, I will.
Cass, what are you doing in this time?
I'm just soaking it in at this point, waiting for just time to pass. So I'd probably just have my pipe out, just blowing a little smoke, just enjoying the night, taking in the updates from Dory and Frog as they come, sort of knowing that as of this moment, there's nothing else we can do. So we can only do so much type thing. One thing I would do, though, while I was relaxing, probably would use the ring I have and just message Dion. Just trying to be as caring as possible, but just sort of message him, just checking in of, hey, given everything that's happening, are you two okay?
Well, okay is a interesting term for it, but we have each other. We have confidence in our systems. We knew this was going to be a hard 2 weeks, and it has been, but we also know that once it's over, we get to go back to living our lives as we want them to be, and that's kind of what's motivating me through it.
Okay. Just sort of hearing it that at least they're in as optimistic of spirits as they can be. I'll sort of sit back in my chair, move Quizzle back into existence, and just relax unless something else comes up.
Cool. Then the night will pass without incident. At what time do you think you all are planning to infiltrate? Do you plan to do it early in the morning, in the middle of the day, or like right before the night ends? Well, not night, because it's like you'd essentially have until like 6 p.m. the next day is when like your hard line of the dinners or the rehearsals are done. So would you try and do it early in the morning or closer to the like hard line?
I imagine as soon as it seems safe to do so is what I would prefer, at least, because then we have time to plot. I don't know if anyone else has a different opinion, but
I'll follow your lead, Frog. I am not the stealthiest in the group, so I will follow whatever you think is the best approach here.
None of us are really stealthy, so I think probably the longer we have, the better.
And Cass, do you still have your student robes?
No, 'cause I said I left them. Left for they were folded up. I left them
Okay.
in the house.
Yep, they were. Okay. Cool. Well, you know what these student robes look like if there's anything you all wanted to try and do with that. But yeah, what else were you saying, Cass?
I know, I was just saying that, Nori, that Frog can literally make herself invisible. I don't know how much stealthier you really want us to be.
It doesn't mean that we actually do a good job at being invisible. As I say, while I'm drinking my morning coffee and eating a little bagel.
Frog, at this level, you could make all of you invisible.
that's a good point.
Hmm?
Heck yeah.
Sounds great. We should do that, Frog.
Yeah. Oh. I assume it's morning while we're talking about this, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the next morning.
Okay.
As there's a bagel and coffee being consumed, apparently.
Yes. So I had a little chat with my good friend, Miss Catonic, last night, and she said that she could let us borrow her eyes in search of what we're looking for when we get to the cathedral, so or wherever we're going. Is that where we're going? Yes. Okay. So we have that if we want to do that. And we can be invisible while we do that. So I think that's a good plan. Are we ready to go?
Yeah! Woo! And I'll chug the last bit of my coffee.
Great.
Beautiful. Then the three of you, as all of your companions are off elsewhere, make your way to the cathedral. Frog, at what point are you turning yourselves invisible? You know the spell only lasts an hour.
Yes.
At what point are you planning to do that?
So the route to the cathedral, I'm assuming we have to go through town, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's like it's up near the head of it's up by the castle itself. So you have to like walk that like 15-minute trek to get up there.
Okay. Is there a way to take like a back street or something that's like not super obvious for like some of the route?
Yeah, it would add time, but you could.
Okay, I would say we can try to be conscious of where we're going for as much of the stretch as we can, and then once we're like in town heading towards the cathedral to like put that up. So I don't know how much of that time can we be on a stealthy-ish path.
Well, are you trying to be invisible the entire walk there, or just once you get there?
Like, take back roads for as much of it as we can without too many people seeing us, and then once we get to the point where we actually have to be within, like, a big population of people, I would like to turn invisible, like, right before we head into that.
That'd be... You'd still have, like, 5 minutes of walking left, but...
Okay, so yeah.
You can get, like, it would take you 20 minutes to get, like, the 10 minutes it would have if you took the main path, but when you're about 5 minutes away, you can turn invisible in the side alley.
Then. Yes, let's do that.
Okay. Casanora, anything you all are doing while Frog invisibilifies you?
I will be looking into my soul and thinking about if it would be worth it to cast a certain spell, but TBD, not right now.
If you cast a spell, you're not invisible anymore, so keep that in mind. It would need to be done beforehand.
Perfect. Oh, and my secondary question was, can Frog recast invisibility if we need to?
Yep. If Frog has the spell slots for it, yeah.
Okay, solid. That's all I.
Clarifying
Yes,
question. Yeah, clarifying question. Nori, are you still ritual casting detect magic? I'm assuming so.
Yes, I would have been doing that probably since we woke up and started congregating together.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
wanted to confirm. Then I would just, as casually as possible, just up mage armor just before this whole event happens.
I would do that as well.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Nora, you wouldn't be able to ritually cast it on the walk here. But so up till 20 minutes ago, you would have been. You've been good. If anything, it'd be in the last 20 minutes, unless you're casting it on your walk for yourself. But you wouldn't have the time and patience needed to ritually cast while walking through the streets.
Sure. No, I'll just have done it up into the point where we were walking.
Okay. Then yeah, mage armors go up, invisibilities go up, and you are 3 unseen, sneaky guys in the world heading towards the cathedral.
Cool. We go to the cathedral.
Yes. That's fine. You have the blueprint. Do you want to go in the main entryway, which is open and easy to pass through, but you'd have to avoid a bunch of bodies, or do you want to try and make it in through one of the back side doors?
Probably one of the back side doors. Looking at the blueprints, do we see anywhere that would be closest to where we're trying to get? His office?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're trying to get to his office, the closest thing would be if you go through the back, go all the way around to the back, there's a doorway that seems to lead to a back stair that could take you up to the second floor, and then you would just need to cross the second floor without anything, because it's the office is essentially right above the main entryway, but there's no passageway up from the main entry right there. You'd have to go to the back, go up, and then cross the floor again.
Okay, if we walk around to the back, do we see any guards or anything there that would stop us from entering?
There's after halfway, there's a gate that's on both sides that you'd have to somehow get across, but no one's expecting anyone to go into the back of the cathedral because it's a very respected holy place in the middle of a city that reveres it. So no, there aren't any guards out back, but there is a 10-foot fence. It's clear. It's not a stone fence or anything. It's just an iron rod fence on both sides of the cathedral.
Okay, well, I feel we're athletic enough we could make it happen. Do we all agree with that? Yes? Okay, we have the fence.
So, one clarification. What exactly puts down invisibility? Is it just casting spells? Actions?
Casting spells or taking an action. It's doing things won't do it, but if you tried to attack, if you tried to cast a spell, that's really all.
What about using a feature?
No, it should be fine.
Okay, so my elemental gift, I could activate that, and it's not a spell, it just sort of happens. Light. Elemental gift light. Yeah. Sorry.
Yep.
Okay, nope, then yeah, I think we're good.
Can you pick me up while you fly?
Much. I say this in the kindest way possible, Frog. How much do you weigh?
I think only 40 pounds.
I would assume yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. 40 pounds.
That also wildly changes how big I thought Frog was. If it's
yeah, me too. I definitely thought Frog was bigger than that.
Yeah, Frog, that's 4 gallons of milk.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Do we want to change it to 60 pounds?
Hey, live your life. Live your life.
I feel it just clarifies the dynamic.
She's only 3 feet tall.
I feel this. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Now, Cass is just walking with perpetual short people. Constant.
Yeah, that's been clear the entire time. Let's see. Yeah, it says your weight is about 40 pounds. On the official halfling thing. So yeah, that's not even Julie being weird. Frog
I
is
can
about
definitely
40 pounds,
carry
yeah.
you. Yes, I can definitely
Yeah.
carry you.
Great. Okay, we fly over the fence.
Yes, and you make it to like the back courtyard. It's set up for like clearly like a morning, like essentially like a morning tea outside for some of the nuns of the abbot and for any of the like people who live in the cathedral to come outside and do this. So there's like lots of like little outdoor tables with like tea sets on them. There's lots of flowers. It's a very nice back garden. No one's currently occupying it because you all came like before that would start. You can see that it's all like set up that people will be out here soon, but right now nothing is using it. But that also means that if people are all heading this way soon, you're probably going to have people coming in and out of the cathedral this way. So you can still be invisible, or if you want to try and do something that wouldn't involve direct entry through the door where you're imagining people would be gathering in a short period of time, you can do that, but it is up to you.
Is there a second story window that's open if we're already flying?
There's a second story window. It's not open. It's stained glass.
Oh, okay, never mind. We cannot get through that.
Alright.
I mean, we could, but it
Can
would be
any of-
disastrous.
Can any of us dimension door?
No.
But again, that would require an action.
Yeah, it would.
Fair point. So there's no. Never mind. That's a dumb question.
What was the question?
There are no literal. There are no literal windows we can go and like try and pry open.
I mean, like most of the windows here are set in stone. There's nothing really that you could try and pry open, as it's not like an exterior window thing. If any of you have the ability to like turn yourselves into mist or fog, you could probably like sneak in through some of the windows because like there's probably gaps and stuff. But it's not like you could go like pry open a window and climb in through it.
Yeah. Well, I guess we would just have to go through the door and hope not to
Okay, so-
disturb anybody.
For that, since we're already sort of looking at it, I'm just going to carry Frog up. That second story window, it's in glass, you said, right? We're invisible, no one can see us anyway. Can we see through? Like, is there anyone in there? Like, can we see what's in that room?
Yep. So this up here is like looking through it. It's like hard to get all the details because of the way the coloration is. But it seems to be the church's library, and it has right now just like 3 nuns that are like sitting around reading books and stuff right inside. Beyond that, it doesn't seem like anyone else is here. You can see some people moving on the exterior of the upper floor, but most of them seem to be heading down the stairs.
Okay. Alright, so that's obviously not going to work. I think one of us needs to obviously go visible. So I can mention door, but as soon as I do, I'm visible. So I can get somebody in and then leave. Our best plan of action. But I'm not the stealthiest anyway, so I don't think I need to.
Can Nori cast the wraps so that like as soon as you dimension door you could just disguise yourself and that way
I can disguise myself automatically to leave.
Yeah. It's like they also
okay,
require
perfect.
attunement, so Nori couldn't pass them over. I mean, Nori could pass them, but it would just take an hour to get that plan
Yeah.
online. So, okay. So, Cass, you're going to dimension door someone inside and disguise yourself.
Ori, what are you?
Friends. What check is stealth again?
A stealth check.
Dexterity.
Thank you. Okay. I will cast a first level spell to give you advantage on dexterity check.
Okay, so
That's going to make you visible.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, fucking balls. Okay, never mind.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. We know that there's the back door, right, Sean? Like, hold
Yep.
to us. And
yeah, you
can
are
we
like
hear
available to
any-
walk in.
Yeah, can we hear anybody on the other side?
No one directly on the other side, but you just saw some people were starting to head down the stairwell towards that door.
I mean I feel like we can just walk in the door and then
Yeah, so
we can see,
I'm going-
so we can avoid people.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop back down, get us down to the ground normally. I'm not even going to burn Dimension Door because we can just open the damn door. So I'm going to just open the door, cast Disguise Self, and then let you guys get in, and I'm going to just hop back over the fence really quick.
Casting Disguise Self and opening the door, what are you trying to disguise yourself just as like someone that would be around the churchyard, or just as random strangers? If they see you, it doesn't matter?
I'm going to just disguise myself as a like I'm going to try to make myself look homeless, so it's like as if I was like trying to just get into the back door type thing, because I don't want to look like a church person, especially if I'm hopping the fence.
Okay. Yeah, you open the door and cast Disguise Self, able to send your friends through. Luckily, you're the two small folk, because there is it's a spiral staircase, so it's got that spot behind it that you guys could crouch, that no one would need to be in. It's only like a 2-foot tall gap, so if both of you squat down, you can barely fit underneath it, but it would give you a spot to hide while these nuns are heading out to their breakfast tea. What are you doing once you're inside? I assume you're heading upstairs, but is there anything you want to do before you head upstairs?
The nuns have then passed us at this point.
Yep.
So from what we can tell, it doesn't look like there's anyone coming or going from there.
There's nobody clearly coming down the stairs anymore. There are more people upstairs, but there's nobody directly down here.
Is there anything down here for us to investigate? Like any other doors?
You're in a door that leads to a stairwell. There's a stairwell. There's not a lot besides stairs.
I think we should just go upstairs, because anything that he's gonna have that's incriminating him is not gonna be. I feel like it's not gonna be down here. I don't know, but
let's just go upstairs. Let's do that.
Okay. Cool. You all head upstairs. Taking yourselves up, you come out onto the side of that library. There is some church offices lining this side up here. It's essentially overlooking the cathedral below. You can see down over the the parapets inside. You can see down into where the communal services happen, and then on the back is a large set of doors that would take you to his office. You can also tell from all of the the blueprint mapping that they're things like secretary and treasurer and commons and stuff like that. There's also a floor above you that is the housing. It houses anyone that lives in the abbot or in the cathedral. So those are all there.
okay. I assume the door is locked. Can I try it?
Oh, you're going all the way to his office?
Yeah.
Able to get there. The door is locked. You can try unlocking it.
Okay. Nori, do you have lockpicking skills?
I think that I do. Yes.
Yeah. Do you have a set of lockpicking tools on you?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah. Are you proficient with them?
That I don't think so. I don't think I spend enough time.
Yeah. Then it would just be a dex check, sleight of hand, without proficiency added, if you're proficient in sleight of hand.
Okay.
So D20 plus your dex mod.
Yep.
You can also guide yourself if you want to cast guidance.
No,
No.
I cannot. Because I can't cast a spell.
I know, but if you wanted to break your invisibility for this, you could.
Yeah. Orc no. Let me just look at my... I don't think it's gonna forkin matter. 12.
Well, we'll not do it.
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
It's a... Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Frog.
Okay.
Handing the lockpicking tools to Frog.
Yes, I will.
You could also, Nora, if you want to try and, with your expertise, but Frog's dexterity, if you want to give her the help action trying to guide her, you can.
No, because that will then still act as casting
No.
a spell?
No, the help action is just you help by doing something.
Okay, I will help her by
Yeah.
guiding.
Not guiding, you just, yes. Go to roll an
Yes.
advantage, Frog. Yeah.
Great, thanks. Okay. 17 plus 2. 19.
And 19 is enough to get in there. So a very nice ornate lock, and you just dexterously take... Nori, what do your lock-picking tools look like? What are a
They're-
cleric's lockpick tools?
At the base of them are little tiny silver pine cones, and then they're very ornate and dainty because they're the size for a fae, or the same size as, or similar size to Frog. So they're very, very nice, and clearly I didn't have enough finesse. And I'll look at Frog and say, "Nice!" Whisper, so very silently that no one can hear.
Yep. Then yeah, you open it up, and make it in. Well, you make the door open. The room itself is very well organized, very pristine. There is a desk in the one spot, and there's a wall of books, and then on the other side seems to be like a filing wall. The other notable thing is that standing right above the desk, there seems to be just like a statue of an angel that's eyes are burning brightly, and it seems to like have a radius around it of protection.
Cool. Okay, first of all, I would like to lock the door behind us.
Okay.
And then I would like to call on Miss Catonic.
Okay.
See what she can do to help us in this situation. Whether it be with this scary orange-eyed angel or finding exactly what we're looking for.
Cool. Nora, you see as like Frog calls on Miss Catonic that like she just kind of like slumps over a bit and then comes back up and is floating slightly off the ground and seems to just like hover there. As you look around and go, oh,
And this breaks my invisibility, right?
Yes, you are
okay.
visible inside.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that there is a guardian. If you walk near it, there's a good chance it will burn you to the crisp, but it can only do so much, so you might outlast it. I'm not entirely sure how strong the two of you are, but it is not an alarm, it is more a means of striking down anyone that would enter. Over there are a bunch of books, several of them very interesting. If you wouldn't mind bringing them to me, I would love to study them. Some of them are magic for you, but I don't think they'll be very much help. And then looks to the files and is like, those are random church files. They are not exciting. I think what you want is the letter that is currently in his desk.
And we have to go past the guardian to get to his desk?
The guardian is like, the desk is here, the guardian is like floating right above it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Before Miss Catonic, before you go, is there anything that I could do to disarm the guardian via magic, potentially?
Well, it is summoned magically. You could try and dispel it. I
Solid.
also do not know if you could try and blow it up. But there is also a bunch of people beneath you, and, well, I am always interested to see how different people handle different problems. I would caution you against handling it with extreme noise or sound, as there is an active congregation forming below, not for service, just for devotion, and you would probably draw their attention.
I appreciate your wise wisdom. Is there anything else aside from those books that you maybe would want in this room?
No. I think that would
Okay.
be good.
Awesome. Thank you. Can I
And
have
then,
Frog
yeah.
back now?
You see Frog like goes down to the ground and like slumps back up as Frog.
Solid.
Frog, and that entire time you were floating in like an endless pool of water in your mind, looking at a starry sky.
That
That's
sounds
not too
kind
bad.
of nice.
Mhm.
Was I cold?
Yeah, like not like literal water, but like a lake, but like not a
Yeah.
lake. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds
So, did Frog hear any of what Miss Catonic said?
Yes.
So, Frog, before we do anything, let me, since you're already not invisible, it doesn't matter. I will try and dispel magic for the little guardian guy. And I'm going to cast it at... Let me just check real quick. I will cast it at... I hope we don't need this today. 5th level, just in case.
Okay. Casting it at 5th level, it does successfully end the spell.
Perfect. Okay. I will try and catch it. Do we need to catch it if it's floating in the air?
No, it dispels itself.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought it was a literal object that, never mind. Okay.
No, it looked like one, but it was essentially like a summoned statue that when it's dispelled, this dis-summons itself, disapparates away.
Cool. All right. How about Frog? Do you want to check the desk and I will go check some of the books? Just like magic information and then...
Yeah.
Meet back here.
I will go ahead and open the desk.
Cool. Can you make me a dexterity saving throw?
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. Just wilding out here, just opening desks without checking for anything. Wow, Frog. Live your life.
Okay. Dex save, you said?
I'm pretty sure. Give me 1 second and I'll check myself. I'm pretty sure it's a dex save.
21.
21, okay. Yeah, it is a dex saving throw. Cool. On a 21, that is high enough to succeed, so... Cool. That rolled really low. Frog, you are lucky. As you just pull open this drawer, you see like a sigil light up as its seal is broken when you pull the drawer out, and it explodes. It doesn't seem to let off a lot of sound. It seems like this trap is more here to, like, if somebody is to break in, they want to make sure that the person is downed and in the room without causing a panic. And you're going to take 17 points of radiant damage.
Okay.
Anything else you want to do, or do you want to just keep rifling through?
I'll start rifling through.
Okay. Yeah, looking through, go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Okay. Oof. Finally have been unlucky. 13.
13, okay. Yeah, you look around and you can tell from Amy guiding you that there's something in here that you need to find, but you're not able to find it yet. And we'll go over to Nori. What are you doing? What books are you grabbing?
I'm going to detect magic.
Yep. You see that there are about 10 books that are like pretty like low level introductory, like clerical books of like first level cleric spells and the rituals to cast them, like different like cantrips, how to like for like clerics, how to pray to get a god on their side or how to become chosen. There's a lot of like those sort of books that are probably very much a carryover from the last high cleric. Who had them here when he was actually doing institution, especially because you know that the current high cleric is trying to lead the church more towards like a sorcery side than a clerical side. So these books are not out of date by any means, but seem to be out of use. But there's a couple like how-to cleric books here for like level 1 and 2 clerics.
And are they the ones that Ms. Katonic was pointing at?
No, they were the ones that she said you can ignore. I don't need them. She wanted more like they have like books of information on the church and on the people. She wants those.
Oh. I will grab one of them for her.
Okay.
Maybe the one that looks the most interesting.
Okay. Yeah, that would probably be the one on like the lives and intentions of all high clerics. It seems to be like a lasting memory of like everyone that's ever filled the position that magically writes itself. Like when they die, their story gets put into the book. So it'd be a pretty good thing for her to have if she wanted to learn about them a lot.
I would totally have some extra books that I have carried with me.
You've been taking a lot of books from a lot of places. Yeah.
I'm gonna try and put one of similar size and shape right back in that slot, just for shiz and gigs.
Yeah. I won't make you roll for that because you've done a lot of books and stuff. Like you have a lot of books. I'm sure there's one of similar volume size that you can swap in and out.
Okay.
Well,
and then just for extra measure, I'm sure that there's not a door, but I'm gonna try and see if I can search for like a false wall or door or some mechanism that would release a door or any other types of like hidden compartments in this area, and then I will go and help Frog.
Yeah, there's nothing you can find here, and also like the blueprint doesn't show any like false entrances anywhere. So
Sure.
you're pretty confident that it's not because you're missing anything, it's because they never factored one into the building.
Just kidding. I'm gonna add one additional thing to that plan. I'm gonna go by the
Mhm.
door and see if I can listen for anything. Like anyone coming,
Sure,
maybe
make a perception check.
Okay. 25.
Yeah, you are listening real good. If anyone comes by, you will know.
Okay. I will go and then help Frog try and search for this letter.
Cool. What are you gonna do to help Frog?
Totally.
You can try searching yourself if you would like
Yeah,
to.
I think that probably just would be a best use of our time. I will ask Frog where have you searched? Let me give you a little bit more zhuzh to that searched area.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would use the help action for Nori
Okay.
and tell her like where I've looked already and whatnot.
And Nora, you can guide yourself if you wanted to.
Oh fuck yeah, I'll do that. Okay.
Cool. So go ahead and roll a d20 at advantage, and then add your d4, and then add whatever you have for your investigation check.
Dirty 20.
Nice. On that, you're able to like take the spot that Frog's already cleared and like find like a hidden bottom that you can like on the way out, and you get to like it's not a like layout plan of like this is exactly what we're doing. These are the metrics. This is the spells. Like you don't find anything like that, but you do find like a couple letters of when he was researching it with Cassiopeia from a long time back. And you find like some early correspondences that seem to indicate that if they wanted to summon a like endless fey creature back into the material realm, it would need to happen at some sort of point where the fey and the humans come together in some sort of ceremony, and they would need a willing sacrifice to be the blood that they'd have this woman pour out of.
Would we potentially gather if that willing sacrifice could be a frog?
Doesn't say it couldn't be.
Poor Archimedes. Maybe. How much time have we been in here? Like, in the total process of us starting to get through those iron gates?
I'd say since you cast invisibility, it's been about 45 minutes.
Okay, so it's not too long. I'll turn to Frog and ask, should we either just take this and give it to Julian and Dion, or should we also take it and try and copy so that way we can at least leave something, even though I'm sure James Whitmore will be able to tell, but maybe it will at least like give him a question to pause.
I think we should just take it and not worry about copying it, because we need like the actual evidence to give to the princes.
All right.
And he's gonna know we were here anyway.
Yeah. Is there anything else for us to try and investigate in the desk? Or have we rummaged through it all?
Yeah. There's nothing else important, but you could like try and like make an insight check into the research you found.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. I can be insightful.
Cool. You can be.
I can be. That is a 27.
On a 27, with the information you found here and the information you got from Titania last night, with your questions of like, do they need to die for it to stop? No. Like, does an object need to be stolen? No. You kind of get the sense of like the part that's most here is like the willing sacrifice. So if Archimedes becomes unwilling, you know that they have a bunch of other people who probably are ready to throw themselves down for this better world. But if you could make it so no one's willing, that seems to be a stop of it. And also, it seemed to have like a weird thing where they needed a bunch of people to come together. And so if that had to be broken up, you could stop it there. But your questions of like, do you need to do direct violence to them? And do you need to like do direct violence to anyone seem to be answered in that as long as like you could find a way to stop it without anything being initiated or without people being comfortable about it. But in order for that to happen, a lot of information would need to be public very quickly.
Also, wouldn't it be slightly null and void only because technically Julian and Dion are married? Like, we already performed the ceremony, so the bringing of a half fae or whatever we think, isn't it Dion's heritage or whatever that Titania told us back a while ago, and Julian, wouldn't that be like null and void in a way?
That could be something you assume. It doesn't say it needs to be a new ceremony, it just says a ceremony of some kind. And you never asked them at all about that lineage in any capacity. So that was just something you were assuming based off of why Titania showed up to the engagement party.
Okay, well, I am going to mention that to Frog and say, I think it's time we also probably ask that uncomfy question. But if it's a direct link, then it would be important to know, because maybe we can also put a fake person in place who's not of Fae heritage. Because the ceremony in and of itself would not work for what they're hoping.
That's true. I mean, based on this incriminating evidence that we have, we could also probably get this to the princes and tell them they need to cancel the wedding. Like, I know that that's like a big thing that they can't really do, but like, if they have the evidence and can arrest James Whitmore, then that
I don't know. There's lots of different cards that we could play, but we should play these cards somewhere else. Let's go.
Yes, agreed. I will cast invisibility on us again so that we can get out of here without being seen.
Okay, cool. Then
is there another caveat? Is there any reason we would have, between Frog and I, to search any of the other rooms you mentioned in this hallway?
None really, unless you're thinking he might like hide things all around the building. But none of the nameplates on the offices are the people that you saw the other day. None of them seem to be directly tied in, but also you know that everyone in that meeting seemed to have underlings, and he didn't show up with any. So, if you wanted to assume maybe some of the people in the church are helping him, they'd probably be these top-ranking officials, but you don't know that.
What's the distance on detect magic?
30 feet?
I think that's the radius, yeah.
Okay. Because I would just say we could, like, go in a central location and try to detect magic to see if any of the other rooms might, like, have something guarding it. And that would probably give us a clue.
Why not?
But
we'll just do that real quick.
Then we'd have to go into the hallway and be seen.
Wouldn't it still technically be up even though we're invisible?
Yeah, if you cast, like, if that's already been cast,
got it.
Frog
That's
casts invisibility on it. Yeah.
Okay, then yes. Okay, let's do that and see what we notice.
Yeah, you could do a quick, like, lap around the upstairs area. A lot of magic pings from these rooms. None of it seems to be the same as like that guardian. Like nothing seems to have that level of defense over it. But you can tell that there are like magical tomes or like there are like magical robes of like clerical divine things that like when they wear them into the ceremony, it's like they're clearly blessed by something, or in this case by like the belief of humanity. But without going inside and seeing what they all are, you don't see anything here necessarily.
Would it be more worth it for us to also try and check upstairs? Frog?
Assuming he lives up there?
Or just in general.
You know, a lot of like the religious members live up there, yeah.
Right, if any of the underlings...
I guess we can... Yeah, we can go up there and just see.
If we can try and quickly do it while we still have detect magic on, let's just do a sweep there since we haven't fucking heard anything from Cass, so I'm sure he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah. You make your way up towards the door, like to the stairs going up to the next one. And unfortunately for your detect magic, it is a very thick iron door, which you cannot pass your detect magic through. but it doesn't seem to be locked.
Can we? Can I listen in again to see if anyone's coming?
Yeah, go and make a detect magic. Not a detect magic. Go and make a perception check.
Dirty one. Never mind. 21. I can math.
21. You can tell that there are people in there. They don't seem to be like doing much. Like they're not like talking about plans or anything. But this is the living quarters, and there are people inside living their lives.
Okay, I will mention this to Frog and see if we want to try and stealth it, or we just say screw it and we turn around.
I think it's not worth it.
Okay, not worth it. So let's just go.
Cool. You all are able to get out. Anyway, honestly, probably the fastest way for you all to get out is for Nori to carry Frog, and then you fly down through the hole and out the front door over the crowd. And you meet up with Cass outside.
So, as soon as you guys get back, I wouldn't know unless you come touch me, because you guys are invisible.
Right.
And also, you are disguised as a homeless person, so the other two don't really know where you are.
I'd still be in my bluish robe. Like,
Okay.
it's still the same
Cool.
robe, it just looking homeless.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as soon as you guys approach, I literally would just turn and be like, okay, you've been gone for like an hour at this point. I don't have messaging magic. I don't have sending or whatever fancy things you guys do. If you guys could keep me posted on what you guys are doing going forward, it would be great.
Perhaps. But let's go ahead and like get out of here so that we can talk. And Frog will suggest they start moving towards the hidden pathways back to the hotel area so that we can find a spot to talk.
And as you're moving, both Nori and Cass, can I get a wisdom save from you, please?
A wisdom save, you said?
Mm-hmm. Nori, wisdom save from you too. Okay.
Another 21.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and you're able to make your way wherever you want to go.
Great. Frog is gonna suggest to Nori and Cass, but Nori, since she knows what we're talking about, that I should get in contact with Dion right away and be like, hey, I have something for you. Also, if it's possible to, like, maybe not have this wedding tomorrow, that would be cool. Does that sound like a good idea, or should I send that? Okay.
Yes, you should send that. Also, like, try and give them some deep urgency.
Yes. Okay. Frog will use the ring to contact Dion, and say, hi, hello, this is your welcome notice. I am here and I have news. And then she will say, we have incriminating evidence. Also, if it's possible, please do not have this wedding tomorrow. This is going to cause everything to be terrible. We will get this to you as soon as we possibly can. Or if you can, like, set up some time for us to talk, that would be great.
Yeah, you get back, hello, hi, thank you for saying hello. There's no way in hell this wedding is not happening tomorrow. Just as I understand the concern, however, it is not up to us, and also there is no way it's not happening unless somebody calls it off, and I don't think even that would really allow it. It would probably be secretly handled on the back end. However, I don't know why I said however. I have nothing beneficial for you. There's not really time for us to meet today, but if you can, maybe before bed, we can do a check-in like we did yesterday. we won't have time until very late, however. So if there's anything we need, maybe you can come slyly hand it to us in the rehearsal. However, I don't. You decide, depending on how pressing it is. Yes. Congrats on finding concrete proof for once. That is, I believe, the first time you've done that. No, second. I give you no credit. You did find that book the one time. Congrats.
About Jarl's Bellman. We had concrete
I just
evidence.
gave you credit. I just gave you credit.
Alright, Frog will relay that to Cass and Nori. I know we only have... Well, Nori has a ring too, right? We all have one.
You each have one, yep.
Okay, so we can also send another message if we want to.
Wait. That was the message you sent? You told them straight up to cancel? Okay. Alright, no, it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, if we don't have a large gathering, then it can't happen.
So,
Cass,
again,
I'm sorry. You decided that you were just gonna go be an unhoused person for a while Frog and I clearly did all the work, so you have no say. No say, sir.
Okay, wait a minute. No. Hey, pause. Really quick. Pause. Hold on. It's like, I'm just gonna look at Nori. You guys were arguing about how to open a door to get in. You were gonna have me poof you into the room using a spell, and I literally could have just opened a door. Frog, this is not directed at you. Nori, I don't want the sass. I literally had to sit outside a church as a houseless man for an hour, hoping you two weren't dead. But, back to the thing. Frog, and I guess Nori, because you were both there, what exactly did it say the ritual was? Said it had to have a large gathering of people and a coming together of, the Fae and humans?
Frog will hand Cass the letter so he can read it himself, or notes, or whatever it is.
Okay, cool. And I just sort of read that through. And John, you said, just to clarify, it needs a large gathering of people, or it just needs a coming together of the two?
Just needs a coming together. The large gathering was your all's assumption based on the other day. This note doesn't say anything about a large gathering.
Just again, not making this worse. Typical Cass doom thoughts here. Alright, you already got them married. If it just needs a joining, this literally could be done today.
No. We already had this conversation. We're gonna tell our brothers about it, and so just I no offense, Frog. It's not you. It's just me. I came up with this idea, so go take a bag of rocks.
But you do see the problem here. If it just requires them to come together, they have already come together.
Yes, however, it is the ceremonial aspect of it, which is my thought that comes in, is that it's like the ritual being performed.
Right,
you know
but
what?
They don't know that they've already been married.
Regardless.
Also true, Frog.
Guys, Nori, I will trust you on this. This is your expert. Speaking of, Nori, have you done your magic detection thingamajiggy?
Yeah, since we've been outside, I will have continued to detect magic around us.
Okay, cool. So, alright, I'll follow your two lead. You two sort of did all the investigation. I know what you said, but I'll follow your lead on this. So, tell me what we need to do.
Nori, how far away from the cathedral do you walk before you cast Detect Magic, or is it almost as soon as you're reunited with Cass?
I would say probably once we've dropped the invisibility. So probably when we reunited with Cass. Outside the cathedral.
Like right after you got outside then?
Yes.
Okay. Then yeah, you would have your detect magic would have pinged for a moment as someone tried to get into your conversation, but seeing that you were watching, leaves just as quickly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
share
well.
this with the group.
I think we plan accordingly at this point. There's not much else we can do until we sort of hear back from them. So
Well,
I think we
I
just-
mean, I think that we need to take the letter and get to the princess to give them the letter, because then they have some sort of action that they can take. Because without that, they don't have the evidence to like actually do anything. You know
True.
what I mean?
how do we get there? What time of the day is it at this point?
We will go and see them in the evening when they have told us to come, and we just need to try and stay busy and stay away from other people until then to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
To answer the time of day question, it'd be about noon now.
Okay.
So we have like what, 5 hours? 6 hours?
6 hours until like the dinner reception, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's scheduled to then like go pretty late into the night.
Okay. Is there anything that we can do, like talking to Cass and Nori, to keep this letter safe?
In
Like-
theory, I
We
could
have a
cast
bag of
Lehman's
holding.
tiny- Well, I can also cast Lehman's tiny hut.
Okay. So essentially,
Oh.
we have to do the same thing that they did to like when they gave us the blueprints, like sneak it to them during this dinner. So, is there anyone who? I mean, I think I'm the most stealthy, right?
Yeah. I'm not.
Then I will try to get it.
Yeah, I'd probably say that makes the most sense.
Okay.
Cool. Then we will wrap up there, and we will pick up next episode with you all doing a reverse infiltration and seeing how you can prevent evil schemes.
Yeah.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, listeners, for listening. We can be contacted at helpactionneeded all across the internet, including Blue Sky and Threads and Instagram and gmail.com. Or you could tell us you like the show by rating it, or reviewing it, or giving us some stars or something. We're getting to the end of the story, which is kind of wild, because we've been recording this for a long time, and it feels a little weird to finally be wrapping it up, but we hope you enjoy staying with us as we near our conclusion. Thank you, audience, for playing. Nope. Thank you, audience, for listening. Thank you, players, for playing. And as always, goodbye.